First of all, good morning, everyone, on this today's webinar session. So, to start with, kindly allow me to introduce SolutionBuggy first of all. And we SolutionBuggy is a manufacturing. We are into manufacturing consulting space since last 6 years, and we are India's most, one of the largest platform to accelerate the manufacturing business here. And in last 6 years, we have been trying to, guide to mentor various startups and MSME companies and budding entrepreneurs to set up their business here in India and abroad in various sectors relating to manufacturing sector. And today we are with a special agenda or special thing in our mind. We have conducted this webinar especially for women entrepreneurs. So today's agenda of webinar is to celebrate, first of all, Mother's Day with all the women entrepreneurs and all the mompreneurs across India. So this is a special webinar we have conducted today, and today's agenda is to share the various opportunities for women to start their entrepreneurial journey, or if they already have started, then to how to grow and expand their entrepreneurship, and what are the opportunities are there, and what are the how Indian government is supporting our women these days, and what is the trending thing that is going on in the market in terms of new products and everything. So today's agenda is to inspire, motivate, and praise women of India, and especially mompreneurs who dedicate their life, and balance their life personally and professionally. So I welcome you all on behalf of Solution Buggy on this webinar, and kindly let me now allow to introduce our prominent speaker on this occasion. So to start with, we have here with us Ms. Aparna Bhatnagar, founder of Wise Mama. Wise Mama company is into food products, especially millet-based food products. And so she will be here with us today, and she will be sharing her entrepreneur journey with us. Then we have Ms. Ruchira Jacobs, founder of Average Consulting. She is a market research expert, and she will be sharing today with us what are the opportunities for women, and what are the government support uh, provided by our government. And then
Good
we have
morning.
with us Miss Bhagyashree Marke, founder of Food Monk, and she's one of the highly talented and innovative food technologists. And she will be speaking on various trending products in which women can start their entrepreneurial journey, or what kind of and what innovations are going on in food technology. She will be discussing today with us.
Thank you, Sanjani, for this introduction.
Yeah, so I welcome all the speakers also on behalf of Solution Buggy family, and then I would also like to welcome all our wonderful audience, wonderful women entrepreneurs or mompreneurs who have joined us on this occasion of Mother's Day. So first of all, a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who have joined us today with us, and congratulations already to all the women entrepreneurs for their entrepreneur journey, and all the best to them. And so now let's get started with our webinar. So our first session is with Ms. Aparna Bhatnagar. So I'll request Ms. Aparna Bhatnagar to please start your session.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sanjeevni. It's such a pleasure to be here and be able to talk to all the women participants. So, if you can have my presentation on the
Yeah.
screen. So, yesterday, yeah, the first slide, yeah. So, my presentation is entirely about my journey as an entrepreneur and some of the lessons that I have learned along the years. And I would like to, just apologize for my throat. I have a slightly bad throat, so please bear with me on my voice and if I cough a little bit in the middle. So I started entrepreneurship in 2008 with my first venture. I have had almost 2 to 3 ventures till now, and this I am right now on my third venture, and I will tell you more about it as we go along. So I think every entrepreneurial journey, essentially starts in childhood. Somewhere the seeds are sown when we are kids, and they are sown, by our family and by the people who we come in contact with as at a very young age. So in my case, my mother is a homemaker, and my father has retired from the Air Force as a doctor. And I had an opportunity because of them to travel all across India and to experience different cultures, make friends across the country. And I grew up in a very liberal environment where I was always encouraged to try new things and never be afraid of failing at whatever I started. I was never discriminated, against, because I was a woman, or I was a girl. There was anything that I couldn't do it, my brother could do it. There was no such thing growing up. So I grew up in an environment which was very, very encouraging, which never put emphasis on the result, but it put a lot of emphasis on trying new things and learning from them. It didn't matter what the outcome was, but I was always encouraged to try something new. So my very first, if I look back now, I think when I was almost 9 years old, I had started a library of my own. No, the first slide only. Saloni, first slide. Yeah. So when I was 9 years old, I had started a library of my own, and that I can say was my very first entrepreneurial experience. And as I grew up, I went to New Delhi. At the age of 16, I joined Lady Shram College, which again was a college for women, and again very, very supportive of women's dreams, and made you believe that there was nothing that you couldn't do. So the whole environment growing up was such that it was very empowering. And uh, we met a lot of women entrepreneurs in college. We met a lot of women leaders who would come and talk to us. So it kind of gave you the freedom to dream and envision and then work on those dreams. So while I was at LSR, I took a few initiatives. I would start a few nature clubs. I started one nature club in college, and that was again something that gave me a slight insight into what it was into organizing your own venture, and getting people aligned towards your vision and bringing them together and working together. So these early experiences were very, very powerful for me, and I think they somewhere shaped the desire in me to do things on my own and in my own way. And it gave me the confidence that yes, I could I could initiate things that I thought I wanted to do. I didn't have to wait for anyone. And I think for girl children in our homes, or even a boy child, any child, I think this is something that as mothers we can give to our children, that encourage them to try and give them the freedom to dream and to lead from an early childhood. Then after Delhi School of Economics, I joined a wonderful NGO called Seva Mandir. This NGO was based in Udaipur, and in the year 2000, I joined Seva Mandir. And this was a life-changing experience for me entirely. Uh, so we worked in Seva Mandir worked in almost 1,300 rural villages of Rajasthan, and some of these villages were extremely economically backward. So there would be no road almost 20 kilometers from the village, and there was no drinking water, there was no access to electricity, extremely remote. And I worked in a area called Mother and Child Health, and my job essentially over there was to train the women who delivered children along with other team members and doctors. So I mean, at this place, what I really experienced was that, even in a place like this where there was hardly any financial resources for people, were not educated. There was nothing actually, no modern comfort. Yet people were extremely happy. When I compared myself at Seva Mandir and I compared my colleagues at Seva Mandir, we were barely drawing a salary of, somewhere around 8,000 rupees. That was my gross salary. And some of the other peers at that time were drawing around, just 1 second. I think I need to connect it to a charger. Just 1 second. Excuse me. My apologies for this. I totally missed that my laptop was running a little low on battery. So, yeah. So what I saw over there was, there was money and happiness were not correlated, and that was the biggest learning for me. And I felt that even though material resources were less, but the satisfaction that I was getting from my work more than made up for the lack of salary that I had. And I felt so happy working there that I decided that somewhere it influenced me that okay, money was not going to be my biggest motivator in life. Somehow subconsciously that message reached me. And when I worked in Seva Mandir, it gave me a dream. When I saw these extremely remote villages and I saw the conditions that people were living in, somewhere it gave me a dream in my eyes that I wanted to be a part of the solution for my country. I wanted to help this beautiful you know beautiful communities like these who were so talented in other ways, like they could identify the trees, the leaves of the trees, what they were used for. They just knew the nature at like the back of their hand. They were so talented. They knew how to use mother nature for every aspect of their life, from healing themselves to uh, you know they could predict the rain, how it would happen, by just looking at what the soil was a month in advance. I mean, all those things that really were so in sync with nature, but they were not able to participate in the economy. And that somewhere gave me a dream that someday I wanted to connect them to the economy and help them also uh, help bring some prosperity into villages such as these. Moving on to the next slide. So with this, I think somewhere it was established that I wanted to do something on my own rather than go and work in a corporate. And because I wanted to develop an organization of my own someday in the future, I pursued a MBA at IIM Ahmedabad. I specialized in agribusiness management. uh, and I didn't sit for placements because I wanted to be an entrepreneur someday. So I wrote to ICICI Bank, and I wanted to work and gain some experience in the first few years of my career in the field that could help me later on. And I joined a microfinance team in ICICI that took me all over the country. Once again, I got an opportunity to see people, women who were micro entrepreneurs, how talented they were, how disciplined they were in their financial management, and the beautiful products that people made all across India. Such eco-friendly, fantastic products that did so much good for societies, for communities. And yet they were not able to find a market. After that, I worked in Citibank and Dun and Bradstreet for 2 years. It just so happened that those were very corporate kind of jobs, and I just couldn't fit in over there. So 2008, I decided that I'm going to quit my job. And on my 30th birthday, I submitted my resignation, and I just jumped out and I said, okay, I'm going to do something on my own. So in 2008, I started exploring, what now. After leaving a corporate job, I had a little bit of a corpus that I had accumulated to invest in my startup. And I started putting together all my experiences and my learnings to figure out what is it that I wanted to do with my life. And after that, at that time in 2009, 2000, around 2009, e-commerce had just started emerging. And I felt that e-commerce could be a brilliant way to connect people in remote areas with the market, not just in India, but also outside India. And I started a e-commerce website called greenandgood.com. And it was India's first sustainability certified marketplace, which had over 8,000 sustainable products. We had organic cotton clothing, organic food, cosmetics. There were products made by artisans in rural villages, products made by uh, people with physical challenges or mental challenges. So we had a huge range of products that did really, you know, positive, that had a positive impact on the environment, the society, and the planet. So 2009, when we started off, we got a lot of coverage. Outlook covered us, and a lot of magazines and newspapers covered us. We were very, very excited about it. And I participated in a few competitions. There was a Think Big challenge. So yeah, right there, we won the Think Big challenge, and Madhavan gave us this, uh, 10 lakh rupees as cash prize, and I won a car also. And then there was another reality show in which Rahul Bose was the anchor, and we met 10 industry legends like Rahul Bajaj and a lot of industry top leaders, and we worked with them over 10 weeks. And that was a nice reality show that we learned a lot from. uh, this is Sir Robert Swan. He's the only person who has been to both the poles. And we supported one of the explorers who actually went to the to Antarctica on an expedition with him, and they promoted our products and endorsed sustainable consumerism right there. So we had a lot of positives in the early years. We had a lot of people supporting us. We had people who invested in us. We were called to different conferences and corporates to present our idea. However, there were a lot of issues also that we faced. One, it was a very niche space, and when we started off 2009, e-commerce itself was beginning. There was no ecosystem there. There was no organic products were not very popular. Consumer demand was very weak. The legislation, the compliances, everything was very complex, and e-commerce was turning out to be so capital intensive, and we needed a lot more money than my own savings, and we were not able to raise these funds because of these reasons, and also because FDI was not very e-commerce friendly at that time. And then came the three big shocks: the demonetization, which meant that a lot of our small suppliers got impacted. A lot of them were small people who were working in small villages, so they could not produce. And the GST shock again for a few months, and then finally the COVID shock, where the whole supply chain got disrupted for a pretty long time, and it took us a long time to get back on our feet. And then we decided that, okay, this is not working out, and we need to take some hard decisions. And we decided to uh, you know close it for the time being. On the personal front, apart from the environment shocks, I think some of the shocks or some of the things lessons for me were that we tried to do everything on our own, and I think that was the biggest mistake. You always need experts to guide you, and we did not have the right set of experts. Again, cash flow management was something that we did not focus on. We did not focus heavily on building sales. How are we going to monetize the business? How are we going to, the sales have to be right, the fundamentals of the business should be strong. Not enough avenues for revenue. We did not know how to monetize our website, and we also overestimated the market size and the customer response. And this is something that I think most entrepreneurs do when we start off. We are very, very optimistic, and we don't do our maths well enough, and we don't plan for the downside well enough. So, I mean, with all these challenges, in 2020 we had to, close our business. In 2020, when we closed the business, when I closed the business, for me, the question was, now what do I do? This was something so close to my heart, and I had to shut it after 10 years. It was, emotionally, it was such a big blow, and I was so invested in it. I didn't want to close it. But after a very, very painful, uh, decision, decided to move on. So obviously, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't give up. You try to do something else. And like they say, every door that closes opens at least two other doors. So for me, it opened another door to what I'm doing currently, and that is the Wise Mama. Here, this actually came out from a very personal need during COVID. So I have a super naughty 2-year-old, 4-year-old now. He was 2 when I started, and life was not easy. Managing him, and in the middle of COVID, trying to stay fit. I started working out, and I started doing yoga. I had 2 dogs at home that I had to look after, and my husband was also working full time. He would be out of home, so it was really challenging. And when COVID hit, we had to manage all of this on our own, and at the same time try to be fit and be healthy and manage everybody's health at the same time. Also, what happened was that my fitness trainer would keep telling me to eat oats in the morning, eat eggs. The yoga, instructor, they had a different kind of diet that they would suggest. That I was interested in intermittent fasting, and I just couldn't make head or tail out of it. What is it that we should, or that I should eat to be healthy, and something that's easy for me to cook because I want to get back to work, and something that my whole family can eat. And I'm sorry I don't have my husband's photo here, but he was very much part of this whole thing. uh, so all of us were actually, my husband and I were struggling with this question, and that triggered this, that we wanted to come up with something, a food, especially at breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day, which can be cooked very quickly by a woman like me, who was in a hurry, who didn't have too much help at that time. And you know someone who needed to also make sure that everybody was eating healthy. How could we do that? So uh, we looked at not just ourselves, we looked at people around us, and I discussed this with a lot of other friends and other women, if they were facing a problem similar, and everybody was not very happy with the kind of breakfast they were eating, and in the hurry that they were in, in the morning to make it. So with that as the brief, we started out and we started developing a set of products. And we came up with the brand name Wise Mama because it was for mothers and women like us, not just mothers, but all women like us who were trying to do so much and trying to be healthy and trying to learn from so many ways just to make everybody around them healthy and happier. And so Wise Mama, we came up with a product that is millet based heavily, that gives you the right kind of macros, and it gives you the right holistic nutrition, gives you right protein, it's high in fiber, it's complex carbs. It fits in with a Western nutritional guideline, as well as it fits in with an Ayurvedic nutritional guidelines, the kind of ingredients that we have put together. Also go with if you're trying to do yoga, or if you're trying to do intermittent fasting, or you're trying to, eat in a very Indian way. So principles have been merged from both the nutrition sciences, and it takes only 6 minutes to cook. It's very, very easy. It's in a porridge way, so it's very good for your digestion, and it actually gives you a good start in the morning. So this is what my current product looks like. We have about 7 to 8 variants, coming up with a lot more. And it's an easy to cook porridge kind of thing. This is an upma one, and this is a berries and nuts kind of millet porridge. Now these products are being received very well with the customers right now. We are getting excellent response to the products. We're getting good sales. We're getting great feedback from people. So a lot of things this time are working for us, and I think this is where the lessons from my previous ventures have come in and helped me this time. And I think so what I can say that we did differently was, this time we worked on the consumer need backwards. We picked a need, we validated, was there a need big enough, what actual real people feeling that need, and then we developed a product, and not the other way around, that we felt something was needed and we are trying to push it to the people. No, that's not the right way. The right way is to go customer need backwards. And then understanding the market size and growth trends. In my previous ventures, I didn't really focus on what was the current market size, would it sustain us, what kind of money it would need from me, what kind of time and energy it would need from me. I didn't really do all that. It just came from passion and love for the cause. But this time, along with the passion, we also did our homework in terms of understanding market size. Is this a sustainable market to be in? Because business at the end of it, it's going to take a lot of your finances, your emotional energy. It's going to take a lot from you, and it has to be sustainable. You have to treat a business, like a business at the end of the day. So we looked at those aspects also. And something that I didn't do last time at all, I didn't have any mentors. This time I have, gone out and asked to financial management, to every aspect of running my business. I have a mentor. So how do I find these mentors? I try to find someone from my network who's doing very well, or I ask a friend, do you know someone, I need help with sales? Do you know someone who can guide me on how to organize my sales, how to, whether I'm doing it right or not? I want someone who can validate this with me. And through some reference or the other, we find some people. And more than all the mentors that I have, none of them wants to take money from me. They are more than happy to help me free of cost. We go to them with very, very focused questions, probably 2 hours a month, 3 hours a month. But we really engage with them and we learn from them. So they are our experts, and they guide us, on different aspects. And that's why we've been able to build, take the right kind of decisions on whether we should spend so much money on packaging, whether we should spend money on branding, whether we should. So all of that has come from people who had tremendous experience, which I did not have. So currently in my current venture, I'm the person who has the least amount of actual expertise. I have my experience as an entrepreneur, but I don't have expertise in any of these niche areas, and that's where my mentors help me as friends and guides. So that is something I think that has helped me tremendously this time. The other thing that has helped me is focus on business fundamentals from day one. So having a proper plan before you launch, having KPIs, monitoring them, checking how you're doing, taking calls, cutting costs if you're not, your sales are not at par, and making changes along the way. And the last thing that we are doing differently is focus on sales and return on investment right from the very beginning. Having a sales process, how will it happen, the whole customer feedback, how will, so every aspect of sale, trying to focus on that and improving that continuously, and having the right people who can manage it for us. So that has helped us tremendously in getting the business right. And as a result, what is happening is we're seeing a lot of people giving us excellent feedback that the product is really helping them. It's actually solving a problem, giving them right nutrition in the morning very quickly. And personal takeaways, what I would say from my journey as a mom and as an entrepreneur, I would say that in my first venture, I was not a mom, but I had enough challenges, and so I think having a child or not having a child is not going to determine whether you will succeed at a business or not. It's how you run the business more than anything else. There will be challenges at any point in time, and there'll be different challenges. When you're a mom, your child can be an inspiration. Like for me, my son is an inspiration. I want to make good food for him. I love telling him about what I do. And when he tells me that, "Mummy, I want wise mama porridge," or "Tell me about wise mama, tell me about your factory," I feel so happy, that I'm actually teaching him, or he has something to probably feel proud of, when he grows up. And I have so many experiences. I don't know whether we will succeed or not, but we will have enough stories and experiences for him to learn from. So for me, I think children can be a great source of motivation for you. uh, yeah, it is difficult to manage your time with a child, but you just have to be smart about your time. So I try to sync up as much as possible with his schedule. When he sleeps, I try to when he was a small, I think it was still about, he was 3 years old, that this was a major issue, that I had to sync a lot with his time. Now he started going to preschool, so that gives us some spare time. Then when he's sleeping, can work at that time. And also, to build an ecosystem. Indra Nooyi also in her book, has said this, that whether you're a working professional or an entrepreneur, if you want to succeed at your career, you have to build the ecosystem somewhere where your child will be taken care of. So we have a nanny at home who takes care of him from 10 to 6. And the rest of the time, anyways, we are working from home, so we are around. But there has to be somebody who can take care of your child while you get the freedom to do some work as well. And I think most important is to have patience, stay calm. And if you with a child, they will not understand that you have work to do. And so just have to surrender to them, for that time being. Let them calm down. When they need you, you have to be there for them. And then the rest of the time, when they have had your attention, you can always move on to your work. So that is another thing. Like, for example, yesterday night, my son decided to wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning, and he wanted to watch something on TV. And he kept crying, so I had to sit with him. I watched something with him on TV, and he went back to sleep at 2:30. So I think that's a challenge that a lot of the moms, whether they are working moms or entrepreneurs, all of us face. But I think it is something that can be dealt with. And I think the last piece of advice or last piece of learning for me was that you have to be very strong within. You have to always believe that what you're doing is worth it. And have the faith that entrepreneurship is always ups and downs. There will be days that are good, there will be days that are very bad. But you have to be strong, and you have to not give up. You have to go through those days, and you have to surround yourself with people who encourage you. And you have to have a few friends who will always tell you that what you're doing is really good, who will encourage, who will be positive, and will give you positive energy. So that is very important, because being an entrepreneur is, whether you're a man or a woman or young or old, whatever it is, being an entrepreneur is really challenging. And the kind of responsibilities you have to pay salaries, you have to do so much that nobody else in the company will understand the kind of ups and downs you go through. So you have to be very, very strong, and you have to be very positive that this will pass, and you will be able to deal with it, and it doesn't matter. You have to keep moving forward. That's my entrepreneur journey, and a few tips and learnings that I have had in my 12 years of journey. And I wish all of you great luck. And I hope you all succeed and do well in your ventures. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aparna ma'am. This was really very nice and very insightful information and journey. I must say that you have shared with us all about your entrepreneur journey, your experiences, and what you have gone through all the phases of this entrepreneur journey. It was
Thank
a
you.
really very nice presentation. Uh, I would like to ask the audience if they have any questions for Miss Bhatnagar, so they can raise the hand. We have very, in messages we have very which few questions for you, ma'am.
Sure.
How to start the food business and this kind of thing. How do you had your product in your mind? So one of our audience, Miss Gauri, would like to know this thing, how you decided on the products.
Sure. Sure. So, uh, if you have a product in mind, how to know if it's marketable or not? Okay. So, I think there are multiple ways. First of all, you have to, there's a primary research that you can do, and you can do a secondary research. So, first of all, just discuss that idea with who you think is going to be your customer. So, like in my case, I felt there were other women like me who would have been the customers, so who would have felt the same pain points. So I actually went and talked to a lot of women, my friends and their friends. I did a small survey in some of my WhatsApp groups about what were the breakfast habits, were they dissatisfied with it, what were they looking for, what was missing in that. So you can run simple surveys to get about 150 responses from people you know. And with that you can form a kind of a hypothesis that okay, this is what people are looking for. Then you have to also look at you can do some research on Google on whether there are other products like this in the market or not. What are they addressing the pain point that your primary research has raised? Are there any other reports about this, the secondary reports? What are the trends in this? Are there more people coming in? Are there is there a growth in this market? What are the reports saying? With all that, you can get an idea of whether this product has a potential at all or not in this market, or is there a market for this product. So that will give you some idea, and then you have to start developing the product, a prototype, and then test that again with people. So we did sampling with a set of almost 100 people, friends of friends, gave them free samples, got their feedback on what they thought was right with the product, what was wrong, improved the product. So it's multiple levels of testing the product till you find the product market fit. The whole process can take you anywhere from 1 year to 1.5 years if you're coming up with a slightly innovative product. Sorry, Sanjeevni, I can't hear you. Hello? I can't hear you, Sanjeevni.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I was just saying that Miss Aishwarya is there with us among audience. She would like to ask something. So Miss Aishwarya, please kindly go ahead with your query.
Yeah, sure. Firstly, hello everyone. And basically, actually, I'm staying currently in Bangalore, and we have recently shifted here approximately 2-3 months back. And previously, I have all the work experience, all the corporate work experience in Delhi as well. All the approx 10.6 years of work experience I have into administration and facility management. So after working in such a long period, what we think we should start our own work. Like we are planning to start our own food kind of some related to food. My husband is a continental chef, so it's a very good thing for us. We can start as an with a good experience and everything. So what we're planning in Bangalore, I think it will not work into North Indian food. So we are planning to move ahead to Jaipur. So I need a suggestion from you all that if we move to Jaipur in coming 6 or 7 months, so what would be a great means how can I start? What should be the process? Because I have very few knowledge about MSME, which we all know, like government schemes, some things are there, but how to apply, how to work, how to start the business, what should be the first steps and everything I want to know.
Okay, actually, Miss Aishwarya, this all these questions will be discussed in our coming sessions as well. Uh,
Okay.
as Ms. Ruchira is also there, so regarding government schemes, subsidies, how government is supporting women entrepreneurs in India, all
Right.
these will be discussed in our coming session. So
Okay.
I would like to request you to be there with us,
Sure.
and we'll be discussing all your queries and answering all your questions.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Aishwarya,
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
your yeah. Uh, okay. So if anybody else would like to have any questions for Ms. Bhatnagar, uh, they can ask, or else then we can move ahead with our next session with Ms. Ruchira Jacobs.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Ms. Sanjeevani, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll begin with the government schemes.
Okay.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. I'm founder of Avrax Consulting Private Limited, and we deal with businesses in the ideation stage and also in the expansion stage. So, I'll be giving you a brief idea since already we had a question about the licensing and the requirements to start with a business. So, I think this session we'll take up first. So I'll be covering for you the government schemes, loans, subsidies, and what your requirements would be at the time of at your entry stage into any industry. So, Ms. Sanjeevi, next slide.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, everybody is watching that the biggest entrepreneurial shift happened during the time of COVID. And that entrepreneurial shift also brought into purview a lot of women entrepreneurs who were not, you can say, who did not have the idea or who did not understand the entry, but it became very easy for them to enter into the market due to digitization and the spread of awareness and the ease of doing business. And also, our government has laid a lot of emphasis on with Atmanirbhar Bharat and schemes like such to increase the GDP of the country. So, women being entrepreneurs, also seeing the rise in women entrepreneurs, also seeing the rise in the number of women buyers in every industry, direct to consumer platforms are seeing the highest conversion rates through women, which is primarily, you can say, it is because of the rise in disposable income or the high acceptance rate for better clean labeled products that is on the rise these days, because everybody has somewhere understood that the products that are available in the market, they have some chemical component attached to it. So post COVID, we have seen a major rise in the number of entrepreneurs entering into every industry with 100% natural or biodegradable products. That is one such noticeable trend. And also, if you see women are more pictured as the empathetic entrepreneurial society, which deals with addressing of the product gaps which were not taken into consideration up to now. As in, you can even see that as Ms. Bhatnagar also explained, she has also entered into sustainable nutrition industry since her products are millet based. So the requirement for real nutritional value in food, especially with respect to the food and beverage sector, this industry is going to see a rise for the next 10 years at least. This is the minimum. There is even a lot of speculation that India might replace China as the world's factory. Since our labor cost and the cost of production in India is very less, that is also a very high probability. So, owing to such things, there's a lot of boost being given to women entrepreneurs in particular, and also to entrepreneurs entering with limited or you can say a fixed amount of capital and less, not complete knowledge of what they are entering into, because there are mentorship programs, there is Startup India to guide all your business activities in the beginning and to streamline your operations right there. There are export promotion councils which are acting very, very effectively at the moment, especially with respect to agricultural export promotion council. You can vouch for the kind of leads that come from there, because India, not only with respect to millets anyway, 2023 is going to be the year of millets. So that is one such product line that is bound to see a rise up until the next year, at least. But even apart from that, if you see all the agricultural produce that is there in the country at the moment, they are seeing very good demand scenario and very high prices in the international market. That is because of the organization of the supply through these export promotion councils. Also, your RTC, RTE products also fall into this category, since most of them are cereal based processed foods, and we have constantly been seeing a high rate of growth in all such product lines. Coming to your government scheme specific for women, your Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is one such scheme where women are eligible for loans starting from a mere amount of 50,000 to 10 lakh. The payment terms for this are really good, because what happens is, in the initial stages, supposing everybody is seeing these days that the entry barriers to your food and beverage industry are extremely low, majorly due to the advent of contract manufacturing and the high acceptance rate in India, because everybody is entering into it with limited or minimal capital, you can say, and outsourcing their activities from production to branding to marketing, everything at very reasonable prices. That is the basic reason why we are seeing the extreme rise in F&B industry, because mostly what happens is, when people are entering into this kind of an industry, what they require is the knowledge of the grade of the product that is going out under their brand name into the market. But here, since all your supply, all your raw materials are taken care of by the contract manufacturer, and the agreement is signed for those terms, it is nearly, you can say, off the entrepreneur's shoulders. This burden is completely off their shoulders, because they know that there is guaranteed entry and they don't have to look into it again and again. These kind of operations have really facilitated easy entry into the food and beverage industry. We are seeing even like small units, small gram udyog units like papad making, pickle making, or your sambar powder making. All these units, they have gotten established so well in the international market within stipulated time period, and with limited stock to begin with. That also, it's not that you are catering to a very big audience or catering to a very fixed kind of a audience, that your product has to be positioned in premium lines. That's not a requirement anymore. Even if you are starting out small, the government is there to back you up with a lot of loans and subsidies, especially at the initial stages, in order to make the gestation period and the early startup phase very easy for your entrepreneurs. These Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana loans are available through to the manufacturing, trading, and service sectors alike, because we are also seeing a lot of companies being registered offshore for trading purposes. With the coming of Bitcoin and all your digital currency, there is a growth in that also, especially in the southern region of India. You can see there are a lot of technology based startups coming up now, which are dealing with these crypto and your digital currency models. Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. Now, women in all industries and new businesses, they have when they have to even for your agricultural based businesses, like a simple trading model, wherein, just now, let me take a simple example which was very recent. The whole world was facing, especially Europe, was facing a shortage of wheat. So at that point of time, there was major price escalation in wheat, and major rise in the international pricing for that. However, our Export Promotion Council has been able to achieve the export potential that India currently held with respect to all your agricultural produce and herbs and allied products alike by organizing and supplying wheat at very reasonable and economical prices in small and large quantities alike. As the demand kept coming in through your export promotion councils, these were catered to, and this is something that has given a lot of financial stability also, you can say, to the country as a whole, due to the increase in foreign currency coming in by means of these kind of supplies. Agriculture also comes under this, and it, since this scheme offers 15% discount on the total project cost, which is limited of course to a per head amount of 12,500 each. If you see, it boils down to a very good figure right at the beginning. When you're entering and you are at the entry point into any industry, this is quite a substantive percentage for you to reduce your project cost wholesale. Like in the beginning, you don't even have to consider that. You come down to straight 85%. That's how it is. So all you need to consider is that, which forms the basis of a lot of other operations. Like, for example, people can invest in their marketing operations, in their branding operations, and give their business a proper identity instead of, just supplying, acting as suppliers or middlemen or things like such. Now, your trade-related entrepreneurship assistance and development scheme. This program is one of the most sought after, you can say, because the government gives a grant of 30% overall. That is what that is the kind of assistance that you get from the government. After that, the remaining headache for your you can say your capital requirement is 70%. 70% you can get financed by your financial institutions like your banks, or you can go in for venture capitalists. However, this again is one such scheme which not only helps at the entry level but also at the expansion level, because the cost of expansion in a business also can be quite considerable in many industries which are you can say nearly perfectly competitive at the moment. Your food and beverage industry is such, your nutraceuticals are such. The rise in contract manufacturing definitely has its pros, but it also has its cons. Due to the easy acceptance rate and the easy operations by means of outsourcing, there is also a rise in the number of competitors that are there in each industry. This calls for a lot of investment in brand identity building, or making your brand, in simple terms, if you want to say, recognizable by your target audience. How do you get your brand to be known and remembered by the target audience so that they come back to purchase your product? You can invest on those activities by a lot of assistance from the government end through all these channels. Also, the Startup India and MSME MSME portal that are existent in India at the moment, they give you a lot of insight in terms of, once you get your Udyam license, the next thing is you get 1 month free of your Startup India. What happens is that is actually the most critical time for any business, the first 1 month when you're entering the market, because that is how you understand what is the growth rate that you can think of tapping, what is the actual addressable audience, whether it is matching with the research that you have in hand, or you need to take some other steps, you need to conduct a trial run. All those things open out when you enter and you see the real functioning of the industry. So that 1 month that you get free from Startup India, there you can build your brand identity, you can contact potential customers of your products. It opens up quite a few avenues. If you see, even right in the beginning, at the time of registering your business, leave alone taking a loan or a government scheme for that matter. Your Annapurna Yojana, this is actually directed to all those small organizations, small and medium scale businesses, which come up in the form of, your tiffin businesses, catering businesses, where women entrepreneurs are looking to slowly cater to a small, fixed, confined area and then slowly increase their reach. We have seen that catering business, however small it may be, it can even be converted into a cloud kitchen kind of a model, and it can see very high revenue rates. So it's just that the beginning is small in such opportunities, but with the government coming up with your Annapurna Yojana, in the initial stages, your 36-month repayment period, that is your 3 years repayment period for a small amount like 50,000. It's not, uh, if you see the amount over here, that would seem like a very trivial kind of a thing to go in for. But in the beginning, when you have to pay fixed salaries and your revenue is fluctuating, that is the point of time when you need more lead time also sometimes to pay your staff, to pay the expenses that come your way in the initial stages. So 50,000, if you see as a capital injection amount, whatever capital you may be having, if you leverage the fixed capital by taking a little bit of loaned capital, which has a long-term repayment period of 3 years, it can add a lot of advantage to the business by gearing it in the initial stages. Assets are kept as collateral securities for your Annapurna program loans. So usually, like women, they would be keeping a fixed amount of their jewelry or assets like such in order to provide collateral for your Annapurna loans. Coming to your Sent Kalyani loans, these are you could say the money lending model that is there prevalent in India. Or you can say even in retail, like women, but on a very small scale, if you see women also as part-time jobs, they are purchasing and reselling your linen, saris, or other like your bed sheets or your home products, things like these. So if a women entrepreneur wants to go in for something which wherein she wants to set up a business and take a credit from the central bank, because here the disbursement happens from the central bank directly under the Sent Kalyani scheme. So up to 1 crore of borrowing, there is no collateral required, which gives a lot of sense of stability, and you can say a lot of confidence, because there is no mortgage as such at the time of borrowing an amount like 10, even 1 crore. So these are available only to the small and medium sector businesses. But if you check the list of MSME businesses that are there in India, especially those which are run by women, you will come across the range. And let me tell you, the range over here is quite widespread, because we have dealt in the past, you can say 2.5 to 3 years, with a lot of women who have come up with a capital of say even 70,000 to 1 lakh rupees and started out with that. And we have dealt with product lines coming from women entrepreneurs who've come up with 10 to 20 lakhs of worth of capital also. So it here, considering the industry standards and considering the prevalent situations in mostly all industries, there is a lot of I could say a lot of scope, and it is more importantly about how you position your business and how you leverage your capital in the beginning. It's not that if you have 10 lakh worth of capital and you're starting out with some business which is extremely small, you have to put that 10 lakh of fixed capital right there in the beginning in order to begin with it. Every business, especially a business at the time of which is entering into a perfectly competitive market, requires capital injection time and again in the beginning. You can say in the beginning of the business comprising of say 5 years time period, you may require a capital injection. A more intelligent and clever move over here would be to leverage your capital by having a good ratio between your fixed and your borrowed capital, in order to have a fixed amount of interest payments and also a fixed amount of equity payments there. Also, in this aspect, I would like to bring out another point. The looking at the industry scenarios at the moment, if you are coming in with very low capital also, there there is a lot of scope on the regional level also that you could look into. If you see the food and beverage market, there is very high acceptance rate even for your cosmetics. The same goes for your cosmetics and your small handloom based enterprises also. Handloom based in the sense, we are seeing that there is a lot of emphasis being laid on jute, uh, jute based product manufacturing, and also the normal cotton cloth based manufacturing. So considering all these, you could start off with a very low capital amount of say 1 or 2 lakhs also, and slowly inject capital into your business as and when required to gain more brand visibility and to build more stronger brand reach. Coming to your Udyogini scheme. Udyogini scheme is actually more focused towards your rural women audience, because this is one such scheme where you could say that the highest disbursement rates are towards the more underdeveloped areas. That is, you have to be out of the municipality limits in order to avail these kind of schemes. So even extremely poor people, which means that there is no collateral required in this, because for even people with very low repayment rates, you don't need a CIBIL score or something to go in for your Udyogini scheme. But yeah, you need to be uh, what can you say, a rural resident in order to avail such schemes. Now, the Niti Aayog has a separate women entrepreneurship platform, which has, you can say, they work in 3 dimensions. One is your Ichha Shakti, where they start helping you at the time of your ideation stage itself. Like, supposing if there's a women entrepreneur who wants to launch a handbag business, something as small as that, because you don't require much capital, you don't require a very big target audience, you can have a regional, or not even a regional, a small area based launch also. In the ideation stage, what you require to find out is the addressable target market. How? By means of 2 things. One thing is by looking into your established market, and second thing is by looking into your product gaps. What are the product gaps that are not being catered to by anybody in the competitive environment that you are entering into? So Ichha Shakti is one such, you can say, vertical of the women entrepreneurship platform, which gives a lot of insight into your ideation and your feasibility reports at the time of starting a business. Whether that business is feasible, whether it can be, whether it is fundable also, whether it is fund worthy. That is also one aspect attached to a business idea when in right at the initial stages. Gyan Shakti is another such vertical of the women entrepreneurship platform. There, entrepreneurs as well as budding entrepreneurs and people who are thinking of entering into this domain, all of them get a lot of insight about how things are going on in a particular industry, what are the market drivers, what are the prevalent trends, what is the demand going to look like in the next 5 years, what is the addressable market, how is the target audience reacting, that is a behavioral response to your product. Gyan Shakti is one such platform which opens a lot of avenues for people who are very confused in the beginning and who want to get an idea or learn from other people's experiences as to how to go forward, how to enter, how they need to plan their resources to cosmetic industry. As I see, there is a question. It depends. It depends on the market area that you're looking to capture. If you're going in for a very small, you can say, area to launch in, you can even start with 1 or 2 lakhs, because the products, the raw materials are very simple to look into. Your branding, marketing, all these rely basically on your digital platforms. Nika being, of course, the forerunner in this, being a dedicated platform for your cosmetic sales. That is, you can see, a very highly organized product line. So the initial investment required for your cosmetic is considerably low, since it relies a lot on your D2C channel. Coming back to Niti Aayog's third vertical, that is your Karm Shakti. In your Karm Shakti, there are many a times that after you enter into any particular industry, you find that, yeah, there are some hurdles, there are some impediments. I don't know how to cross a certain point, or how to increase my revenue, how to check if my sales funnel is working fine, how to fix a disruption in my supply chain. All these things, they can come as shocks also, because even though you have a fixed agreement, even though you have uh, everything sorted out right in the beginning, all your resources, there can be a few fluctuations, or a few unforeseen circumstances happening in the initial stages. For all these, there is Karm Shakti dedicated to women entrepreneurs, to give a helping hand, to give, you can say, even consultants you can find over there who can help you scale up your business, or to overcome all such impediments that fall in the line of your business growth. Now, for your women entrepreneurship uh, program, a lot depends on your CIBIL score these days. But we have seen a large number of women entrepreneurs entering into many domains who have not been so financially active, you can say, before this, or who did not really look into the issue of maintaining a good credit rating before uh, coming into the field of business, or who did not understand, you can say, the idea behind that. Because we've even found such entrepreneurs whom we've handheld right in the beginning and explained how to maintain their credit ratings, and how the letter of credit and all really works with in sync with their credit ratings, and how important they really are for your funding. So, as explained earlier, with respect to your mentorship, your funding support, your brand visibility, building up the audience for your brands, getting you good partnerships. Partnerships also should be such that they add value to the to your brand, or add value to your product line. These days, we are also noticing that in order to gain market power, yes, people are going into multiple partnerships, but the success rate may not always be stable in such scenarios, because when you are partnering, it has to reflect on your brand. If it is not reflecting on your brand, and if it is not giving a boost to it, sooner or later you would have to rethink the kind of synergy that you are going in for. So this is also one such domain that uh, people should look into these days, and not just blindly go into partnerships, because we've found clients who've gone into such partnerships just because the big players were offering solution partnerships or something like that, and then it ended up as not a very fruitful venture, because not everyone can have the expertise, or you can say the reach, to implement it. The Women Entrepreneurship Platform, as a driver of change, also promotes offline initiatives. That is, setting up your B2B platforms are also an option over there. Because if you see, there's a lot of centralization with respect to getting you B2B leads, etc. What happens is, there are now organized players in the market, you can say, or you can say there are a lot of such organizations which are keeping the trade leads or the distributor leads in their hands, and it is very difficult to go on your own and find distributors, wholesalers in particular product lines. In that scenario, your WEP, they give a very wide reach of operations, and you can actually tap distributors, wholesalers, uh, pan India, in order to sell your products. So that, since it happens from the comfort of your home and it is a completely digital procedure, people are also accepting it at a very higher rate now, because mostly at the time of, for example, say if you're starting out just with a food business, in case of a food business, what you require in the beginning is a central FSSAI license. If you're not manufacturing it on your own, you don't even have to go in for your ISOs and things like such. So basically, you have your GST, you have your business incorporation, you have your FSSAI license, and that's about it. You're good to go. So in these kind of business setups, you can concentrate a lot on your branding and marketing techniques, because your offline sales are also taken care of by means of a platform which is dedicated to give you leads, irrespective of any discrimination, or irrespective of you can say any high prices, because there are such institutions also in the country which sell leads starting out at 10-15 rupees. But your Startup India gives you a lot of exposure, a lot of visibility, and boosts your brand image right in the beginning as a free service. And then, even if you do not continue with the free service and you go in for a paid one, I don't think it's a very expensive venture or a very big investment compared to what benefits it actually has to offer. Now, the eligibility for before that, WEP offers incubation and acceleration to women-founded and co-founded startups. Now, here I would like to point out, right in the beginning itself, the purview of these schemes, the you can say the applicability for these schemes, they have been kept quite broad right from the beginning, because even uh, startups which are co-founded by women can avail such benefits. And it's not like it has to be a completely women run enterprise or a completely women's centric uh, line for it to qualify for this kind of a scheme. Even co-founded by a woman works here, and you are eligible to enter into such a symbiotic environment and find out the failures and successes of other women entrepreneurs. Now, coming to the eligibility, ideation stage, yes, as I told you in the beginning, that there is a vertical dedicated to it, which is there by the name of Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti helps you right from the ideation stage to bring your plan up to the stage of building your product. So, since the most important part of your product development, that is from the ideation to the putting of your product into the market, that is covered by your Ichha Shakti, and you receive such strong mentoring from other players in the industry. WEP has been quite a hit among women entrepreneurs because of the kind of environment it offers. Corporates, NGOs, research organizations, incubators, accelerators, all these businesses, or you can say financial institutions, or your consulting platforms, they also have a huge scope if they register for this WEP program, because what happens is WEP also requires to give the kind of solutions that the potential clients are coming in for, or the potential manufacturers or entrepreneurs are coming in for. So for that, they even need the technical resource for that by means of your consultants. So even for consultancies, incubators, your research organizations, They also have a major role to play in this. Now, there is a specific loan format for ladies as such, because if you see, your subsidies and your schemes are many which are centric towards the women audience. Also, you can see that Atmanirbhar Bharat and the kind of FDIs that are coming in for various industries, they also are, you can say, providing a lot of insight into what is currently moving at a fast pace in the market. For example, your toy manufacturing sector. Toy manufacturing in India was a very, you can say, it was explored in India before also, but not explored so well or so deeply. There were units which were making your, cultural and small regional level toys in the form of your dolls and your clay art and cloth items, wood based items. But now, looking at the kind of entry that is taking place in India, especially by women entrepreneurs here, I would say, there's a lot of sustainable business model entries also that are coming into this. People are going in for your cloth based, your lac based, your palm based toys, bioplastic based toys, biodegradable fibers, or you can say they are all looking, to reduce the plastic waste that comes in the form of such daily use products. So a lot of small and medium scale enterprises are entering into the market with fixed or minimal capital by means of a lot of cluster development happening in the country. For example, there is, if you speak of ayurceutical, nutraceutical, or your food processing sector, or even your toy manufacturing sector, all these are very well backed up by the government in the form of organized sectors, clusters being set up in various states, which ha- sort out your whole supply chain on the raw material side as well as to the consumer side, and also provide you state of art infrastructure for your manufacturing processes as well. These also have their specific incubation units. So, people who are not very well acquainted with a few concepts on funding or how to start off with energy efficient production practices, or how to start with production practices which where they could streamline their operation and keep it to uh, minimal working capital requirements, whether they should go in for fully automatic machinery or semi-automatic machinery, since now even the price for the machinery is, the margins are really less. You can a person who is planning for semi-automatic machinery, in 75% of the chances are there that they can afford the fully automatic models also. And later we have seen a shift like this happening, and vice versa also. So, in order to take such investment decisions, which are very crucial right at the beginning, and they determine the success rate of your business and the return rate of your business, you can say the government incubation sectors, units which are set up in various clusters or through financial institutions, they are working very well and they are within the reach of practically everyone. It's not just about the tier 1 tier 2 cities anymore. Even rural entrepreneurs have access to such kind of guidance. Now, the Bharatiya Mahila Bank, this is a public sector banking company which offers loans to women entrepreneurs for only their working capital requirements and business expansion and manufacturing enterprises. This you can understand as the eligibility for this. Yeah, the maximum amount does go up to 20 crores. There can be a total disbursement of 20 crores here from the central government. But uh, you have to fall into these three categories specifically in order to obtain these this kind of a loan. The various loan verticals that are available under this are Shringar. this is for self-employed women who do not have any collateral security to offer for mortgage, and they are in their startup stage, or they are finding it difficult to deal with the initial daily expenses that come in the initial stage of their businesses. Because again, since Bharatiya Mahila business loan is completely centered and focused towards your working capital requirement and does not really give you a lot of backing towards your long term fixed capital requirement or things like these, it is your Shringar is basically for your extremely small scale enterprises which are built by homemakers, or women who are starting out really small with a capital of, say, we have even come across women entrepreneurs who started out with Shringar with 20 to 30,000 rupees. That's about it. So even those kind of entrepreneurs can go in for Shringar. Now, Parvarish is one such business loan available, where which is for more centered towards your creches and daycare institutes that are set up by women entrepreneurs. There's a total of 1 crore rupees without any mortgage required in order to begin with your daycare. In order to begin with your daycare business line and your creches, anyway, you just need a small building, the certifications, and a brand name to go with, and a few marketing tactics to be put in place for your target audience in order to position your business. Therefore, if you see that the upper limit of this particular scheme goes up to 1 crore rupees, which is, I think, quite a big amount for a business model of this kind. So you can go in for uh, better infrastructure with respect to setting up of creches and all. You can go in for toys or things to keep children occupied with. So you're basically, with respect to expenses in the beginning, your hands are not tied anywhere, because if it can go up to a loan amount of 1 crore rupees and a person is even starting out with a very small fixed capital amount which is owned by them, I think this combination has done wonders up to now in raising the GDP coming from this particular sector in India at a very small city or regional level also, you can say. Now, Annapurna, as we have discussed before also, Annapurna is can be availed between the age of 18 to 60 years. That is the age limit that is existent for this kind of a business, for this kind of business to be loaned under the Bharti Mahila Bank business loan. So, basically, caterers, tiffin suppliers, all these kind of entrepreneurs who are looking for to meet their expenses in the beginning, or to meet the cost of their distribution, even the cost of their distribution, because one more thing we are finding is women who are going into these tiffin or catering businesses, they find a lot of difficulty in hiring workforce to deliver the food, which is yet another aspect related to it. Because food business is such that you have to deliver the product within stipulated time period, 30 minutes to 45 minutes or 1 hour, something like that. That is the usual time limit that is taken into consideration. So since people have a more fixed job with you can say all your food delivery companies like Swiggy, Zomato, people do not really want to go in for the unorganized sector these days. I am speaking of the kind of workforce that goes into delivery service of food. So, with the same amount of, you can say, expertise, with the same qualification, and with the same requirements, they can even go in for working for a big food delivery player in the market rather than going in for an unorganized sector. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult to, you can say, acquire the workforce, or to keep your workforce, retain that workforce as your business grows, because the number of orders may fluctuate. The number of orders that you are catering to on a daily basis may be highly variable. So at that time, to maintain your staff, to pay off the bills, all such products, all such business lines, it is very important to have a fixed amount of capital in hand, so that these expenses at the most crucial time doesn't pull you down or doesn't adversely affect your business, and you have that much capital in hand to combat these issues and keep going. Because at some point of time in the ideation stage, it is always a decision whether to shut shop or to go on. So at that stage, such kind of loans and subsidies really play a major role in providing you the kind of backup, you could say, to keep running your business and not fall into the pit when you have very few means of finances, or very few ways of proceeding with your business or growing it in a competitive environment, or on a limited scale. Okay, so Miss Sanjeevani, I'm done with the
Okay.
presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Ruchira. I think you can continue with your next session. Is there? I think for business opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of questions also I can see at the side. I think we'll take it up in the Q&A.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay, one thing that got left out in the Bharatiya Mahila Business Loan, I don't require the PPT, I'll just explain it. The eligibility for it. The eligibility for your Bharatiya Mahila Business Loan is anybody can apply for it, whether it's a sole proprietor business firm, or it's a partnership firm, or it's a public or private limited company. Anybody can go in for that. But what you require most importantly is minimum 2 years of your work experience, or minimum 2 years of proof of your business continuity. You have to prove the point that you have been able to pull your business through the hurdles it has faced in 2 years of the beginning stage, in order to render your business fund worthy or credit worthy, as you would say here. People of 21 to 60 years of age can go in for it. That is also one option. And there's another requirement that the household income should be more than 25,000 rupees per month. But that is, I think, a very basic thing. And 85 to 90% of the entrepreneurs entering, they have a minimum income of 25,000. So that is immaterial here. But apart from that, what holds the utmost importance in order for you to be eligible for this for the business loan and to be able to avail it is your minimum 2 years of work experience and the proof of your business continuity. So now I'll be speaking on the business opportunities which are explored by women primarily these days. I'll be covering the most important and the industries which are seeing the highest rate of growth first. So in that order, if I begin, first is your RTC RTE food. So RTC RTE food is one industry which is growing by leaps and bounds and is destined to grow for at least 10 to 15 years ahead, because of a number of market drivers. Millets, if we speak in particular, as Ms. Aparna had also spoken of in the beginning, millets are seeing a very high rate of acceptance worldwide from India, primarily because our soil is best suited to it. Our soil is completely suited, and the weather conditions are absolutely suited for the growth and you can say cultivation of millets, which are of good grade. So our produce in the form of millets does not just go out as raw material out of the country, it also goes out as your RTC, RTE items. Apart from that, if you see, there is a prevalent trend which is giving a, you can say, um, rise to the RTC, RTE industry as a whole. Women entrepreneurs would lack the technical and mechanical guidance or inputs in at the time of your entering into your RTC, RTE foods. Remaining, yes, they may have the expertise, but major gaps that come in the beginning are in the terms of your mechanical assistance. With contract manufacturing industry growing at a tremendously high CAGR of 9%, this uh, issue is completely wiped off, you can say, currently, because most of the new brands that are coming into existence, they are going in for good manufacturing practices, as even the government is laying a lot of emphasis on your GMP and your GAP, that is your good agricultural practices also, and good manufacturing practices also. So all contract manufacturers, or you can say the centralized manufacturing units, they are going in for a lot of ISO certifications and licensing in order to upgrade their systems and upgrade their manufacturing processes and give a better state of art kind of a manufacturing uh, setup available to the growing entrepreneurs. So with respect to all this, we are also seeing that there is a rise in sustainable nutrition product lines. Sustainable nutrition product lines envelops your plant-based nutrition products also. Plant-based nutrition and vegan nutrition, they are on a constant and stable uh, growth rate, as we are witnessing it not only within India but on the international level. There is a growing demand for vegan as well as your plant-based supplements also, you can say. Not just food, even supplements are taken into this purview. So uh, with this, the RTE industry itself is projected to grow to 647 million dollars by next year itself, which is quite a big market share if you think of one particular industry uh, capturing it. This growth in your sustainable nutrition, you can say, or in the growth of your food manufacturing sector, has come from a lot of drivers. One is the emphasis laid on to it by the government, because they have also facilitated a lot of easy access to your raw materials, manufacturing procedures, everything, and also paved the way with a lot of schemes and subsidies and financial assistance programs, incubation programs, as we have already gone through uh, into these industries. But also another thing is, these industries are no longer restricted to competition laid out by the major players, because if you see the food and beverage industry up to 2015, there were a handful of major multinational players who had captured major component of the market share, and that was how it was running. Now if you go and see and study the market share that is captured by each and every player on a regional, pan India, or even your international level, you will find that the it is highly fragmented. A lot of new companies, a lot of new entrepreneurs have entered with limited capital, with limited reach, and they have been able to acquire their target markets with a good considerable acceptance rate right at the beginning. Why? Because the need for sustainable nutrition and the shift of this power from your big players to your small and regional level players or medium level players also, it has been due to the need for clean labeling getting exposed. a lot of companies which had you can say which a lot of big players in the market who had the power vested in them, they there was no concept of clean labeling being followed in India up to now. Why? Because there was no awareness spread, there was no consciousness with respect to what we are putting into our bodies. How much is the exact amount of processed sugar that your breakfast cereal contains? A very small question, but a question which is being answered by, I think, 40 to 45%, safe to say, new entrants in this industry. The amount of processed sugar, the amount of processed fats that are going into your body, and what is the exact nutritional value of the product that you are taking off the shelf in a supermarket and taking home, that has become the primary question at the time of purchase. So, clean labeling has been one major trend that has come into picture, which has given a boost to your RTC, RTE, as well as the product gaps. This whole scenario, this whole entrepreneurial shift that happened during the time of COVID, it is very safe to say that it has been passion driven. People who really wanted to address problems or issues or gaps in the market have entered with a flair to do it. And we are noticing so many new women entrepreneurs entering, and entering by means of a small primary or secondary research to find out what is the gap in a particular product line or a particular industry, what needs to be catered into, what are the pain points which can be addressed immediately with competitive capital requirements and in the same domain as the current players are operating in. All these product gaps, which like for example, a very small example to bring into this picture, plant-based milk in India was highly confined to a few options up to now, because people who were really going in for your plant-based milk or your you can say vegan milk, they had primarily two options. One is your coconut milk and second is your soya milk. Fine, that is both of them are very good sources of protein and they are highly sought after and are highly profitable businesses also, due to low wastage margins and high price points also, if you position them in a premium domain, because the people who usually comprise of your target audience, they are all people who are more into your health based consumption. So yeah, that is still there. But millet based milk has just been discovered in India. What you require to do is, yeah, fine, agreed that there is the extraction process is a little more costly, because you have to treat the grains before you put it for the extraction process. True, but also it is highly nutritious and a highly sought after product. If you look at the global scenario, the global demand scenario for millet based milk is quite high. Even if it is not such a widely known idea in India, it is still a quite widely accepted product in your vegan countries or countries which have a considerable vegan audience. India being suited to the cultivation and processing of millets, we could even have a global outreach in this, as we did at the time of the Russia-Ukraine war, as India has filled up the requirement of the wheat, looking at the kind of shortage that had happened in a very short span of time on the international level, and how our country has been able to fill up that shortage with good grade of wheat. That also is a major point to be taken into consideration for people who are looking to enter into agri businesses, because at the side I saw there are many people interested in agri. The kind of expert promotion and the kind of clear cut idea that is laid out by a PIDA right in the beginning, you can mark your products as organic only if you fulfill these requirements. Second, if you have certain ISOs and licenses, then only your product can be taken into US due to the USDA norms. All these things are so well and clearly laid out for the new entrepreneurs to begin with, that there is no ambiguity. There is nothing like that you have to first go and really research for a month or so, and then only you can start off with a small scale trading business. No, things have smoothened out so well in the past 1.5 years that at the time of a contingency faced by the entire world, also India was able to cater to it, and that also with good quality products. So if you speak of your RTC RTE products at the moment, your energy drinks, your flavored waters, all these you could say these concepts were not very well embraced in India 10 years back. 10 years back, you did not have that kind of an acceptance rate for such products. But yes, if you look at it now, there are so many medium sector enterprises who are leveraging their capital very well and entering into your flavored waters, your tonic waters, your beverages which are fruit infused and do not have any harmful effects, and they are not based on any carbonated water or anything. These kind of companies, even if you see Raw Pressery was they laid out the very first pattern for cold pressed juices. That was when Indians started understanding, okay, that up to now whatever we were consuming was marked healthy, considered healthy, but maybe was not that healthy as a consumption choice. So that is when people understood the various grades and the various qualities of juices on the basis of their processing. A very small note to take from here. That is the kind of awareness we need in many such food related products. Like, people are shifting from your maida based snacks and savories to more nutritional items, like your dehydrated vegetable based snacks and savories, or you could say your suji based, wheat based, all millet based, all these kind of snacking options. Up to now, the basic thing was, if a child is wanting to eat something, that means something maida based only has to come in a packet. It has to be cooked in 2 to 5 minutes, and that's about it. That is the only option available. Now, within that same time frame, you can feed your child a lot of nutritional options also. This has happened, you can say, post 2019. It has become a very common occurrence. Up till there, it was quite rare. And since it is being explored, but still there are a lot of gaps that can be ventured into, these kind of product gaps and established product markets can be combined in order to increase your um, um, you can say brand identity, and in order to give you a better product positioning in your if you speak of your product portfolios. Because uh, there are a lot of companies, we are seeing a huge number of companies which have a nutraceutical based food line, wherein your food acts as your medicine. It is addressing issues like type 2 diabetes, like high cholesterol, high blood pressure. All these long term diseases are also being addressed to by means of your food. Because if you see our culture only as a whole, India has always had Ayurveda as its root, and that propagates the idea that food is the primary medicine. So, looking at those kind of aspects, these are now actually being implemented and put into the hands of common target audience, into the hands of your middle income group also, and your high income groups also. It is not that the kind of clean labeled products or the kind of premium products are now so highly priced that only the upper middle class or beyond that can afford it. the perfectly competitive industry standards have rendered your products highly competitive, acting as perfect substitutes to each other and affordable by everybody, and accessible in backward areas also, because whoever is not selling through offline channels in small or small regions, or your tier 3 cities or below that, they're at least applying through Amazon, and that itself gives you all the reach. If you are there on a prominent e-commerce platform like Big Basket, Grofers, now known as Blinkit, or Amazon, you are making your product accessible to each and every person. You are widening the target audience right there. And with these platforms like Amazon and Flipkart and all having dedicated grocery sections, it has become even easier for your product to gain visibility, since people are responding to the D2C model of purchasing, your uh, daily food items in one go or in parts, in based on the availability. So it is more, there is a high probability for them to give a new product a try when they see it in a premium packaging put on your D2C models. So without realizing also, just registering on a small D2C platform gives your product from the initial stage a lot of visibility, if not conversion rate. Conversion rate, yes, highly depends on the reviews that you receive from your consumers, but at least the product becomes recognizable, and more importantly, the brand becomes recognizable, and people know what you're dealing in and what the product lines are. Spreading of awareness, and you can say a single channel of marketing itself is established if you are selling by means of your Amazon or all your D2C e-commerce platforms. Then since food is anyway one such industry where women are looked upon as the guiding light now, specifically because of the highly innovative product lines that have come into picture, there is also a rising demand for women-led businesses in cosmetics and handlooms. Now I will deal with each of them one by one. Cosmetics, if you see, that is one business line which is still highly profitable, because again, like food itself, people are looking upon this as an industry which has a lot of options available, since again, there is a lot of demand for organic products which were not there, and products which were coming from you can say only the major players of this industry. They were the more sought after products up to now. Cosmetics is also one industry where people are looking out for your natural products which are certified organic, not tested on animals, free of parabens and all these harmful chemicals. And again, a requirement for clean labeling, because now at the time of, I think now it is more than ever that we are seeing primary research results also coming in, where people actually go and read the ingredients and the labels of the products before making the purchase, and don't just rely on the name of the company. This was a very prevalent technique of just using your brand name for recognition and to increase your sales up to 2018-19, up to that time frame. But beyond that, the major market driver for these products is the clean labeling and the organic certification and licensing that comes along with it. Now, why the cosmetics industry is booming till now is because one thing is there is an increase in the disposable income in the hands of the women audience. That is giving a lot of boost to the sales figures of the cosmetic industry players. Due to high acceptance rate of your certified organic products and your natural products and your bio products also, you can say, because that is an entirely separate segment but linked to it very closely. So the acceptance rate being really high gives a lot of hope to a new entrepreneur, you can say. Because if supposing there is, you come up with a very small thing like a body lotion which is certified organic and completely natural, you will, if you put it on a dedicated e-commerce platform like Nykaa or some or even Nykaa Luxury for that matter, or Amazon, you are bound to have a lot of visibility for that product. Why? Because people are looking for replacements, looking for what works well. And there is the mentality of the target audience in this domain is, let's see if it's a good product, let's give it a try. So that is the kind of mentality which works for your non-essentials, that is your cosmetics, etc. And also the rise in disposable income gives a high acceptance rate and a high rate for adventurous purchase. In the beginning, if for a trial run, they'll go and buy the smallest pack available. If you are able to position your product in such a manner that a consumer first tries it and you are able to supply it in that quantity also, your return rate in the form of your conversion rate in the form of returning customers is seen to grow tremendously if there is a token quantity product going out in the initial stages. Because a person would not want to spend, say, 300 rupees on a particular personal care product, but if it is a 30 rupees trial pack, the acceptance rate and the purchase rate for the first stock would be considerably higher, which renders the product highly marketable and successful in the market. Because those are the parameters. That is your first batch. Those are the parameters that you are putting that you are going to base the next stage of your business plan on. So these are such kind of indicators, you can say, which if you position correctly, they can give you a lot of insights about how to grow your product, grow your brand, and increase your reach within minimum possible time. Now, with respect to your cosmetics, there is one, you can either go in for the established product lines or you can go in for your product gaps. Now, for your established product lines, the things to be taken into consideration are the supply chain of your competitors. For example, the biggest competitors you would have are HUL, etc. Those are the major players in the market. They are the king of the supply channel in these particular product lines. And also they are, you can say, they are more of the channels which are recognized in your small rural and small scale areas. So in order to break that supply chain, you have to come up with a USP. Your product should have a major USP in order to stand in a competitive position as compared to the current players in the market. That is one such hurdle that comes in an established product market. But again, acceptance rate is high because people are already accustomed to using it and they would continue using it, and they could in order to give a new product a try in the same and cater to the same need that they are used to having for a part of their lives, it would be you can say the positive acceptance rate would be there for that, since they are already accustomed to using the product. But with respect to the product gaps in the cosmetic industry, What comes as a major burden in the form of investment is your R&D cost and your trial run cost. You have to see if you're coming up with an innovative product, whether it is suited for everybody, how much of your target audience is going to find that product uh, actually usable, and is going to make the purchase, and how many of your customers, your first time buyers, are going to come back. You are going to retain them because of your product's efficiency rate. All those things have a major role to play, because supposing a product might do well, which is suited for your skincare in a sultry area, in a place which has sultry climate, but not in a place which is cold. So again, the formulation and everything is highly dependent on this. Women are also entering into your biodegradable products in multiple domains. Major takeaways in this is, women are entering into your tableware, which is based out of your biodegradable raw materials, that is your bagasse, etc. Because one of the biggest waste disposable or waste management problems in India is also thermocol based one time use of tableware, thermocol or plastic based tableware, that is more of, your on your use and throw basis. So all these eco-friendly alternatives that are there in the form of sugarcane based raw material products, etc., they are also very economical to begin with, since the capital requirement for this is not quite high. And there is this, obviously it requires a very strong B2B channel, and that also a very strong B2B regional channel, because the logistics for this would be very costly, considering the token amount or the MRP of the product that is going out. So we are seeing a tremendous rise in the number of women entrepreneurs in this, as well as your biodegradable cleaners, that is your floor cleaners, your home cleaning supplies, that is your dish cleaners, and your these clothing cleaners. All these products, in because of the growing air quality in growing pollution and the reduction in the air quality index, that is there, I think, as a problem in so many tier 1 tier 2 cities, that people don't realize that it is not just the pollutants that enter your house from outside, but also the pollutants that are there in the form of your household cleaners, and the toxic chemicals that they carry. They also render your the house, and you can say the floor and the whole air that is there in your house as of very bad quality, up to a period of say 30 minutes to 1 hour after being used. Your mosquito repellents, all these, even if you switch it off at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours, you have the effect still there, in the form of that toxic chemical still floating in the air you are breathing inside the house. So all these are also highly profitable uh, ventures, which do not require major capital investment, can be carried out at a very small scale. And also, one more thing with respect to this is, these products have good shelf life. So till your product is being developed, right from the time of your product being developed, you can start looking into your sales channels, because you have the time and resources, and even the funds, I would refer to with respect to resources, because all your plant-based cleaners and tableware, these are not very costly ventures to begin with, and do not require a lot of processing, also do not require very expensive raw materials. So since at the initial stage your investments are quite low, you can concentrate on how to look into putting your product into the hands of your prospective consumers more effectively. Even
Okay.
pharmaceuticals, this industry is being led by blockchain technology and big data. These are the two major factors which are driving innovation in this industry. So if we speak of your pharmaceutical industry, there also the number of women entrepreneurs that are entering, it is quite a good figure there, because uh, a lot of ladies with financial awareness and financial knowledge are entering into this and transforming the whole healthcare sector by means of providing it transparency in the form of sourcing of raw materials, in the form of traceability of drugs, everything. There is like a centralized and movement going on in order to provide more transparency and more traceability in the healthcare sector, and to open up more hybrid forms of treatment available in than what is available currently. Yes, Miss Sanjini, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Miss Ruchira. That was really very long and insightful session. I mean, say back to back. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Sanjini.
So yeah. So, but there a lot of information sharing have been done by you. So thank you very much for this session. So
Most welcome.
now, yeah. So now I would like to request Miss Bhagyashree to start on with her session, and at last we can hear out from our audience in question answer session. Yeah, Miss Bhagyashree, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjeevani. So, am I audible and visible too? Is it a good quality?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Sanjeevani and SolutionBuggy, again for this opportunity.
yeah,
And I would like to congratulate all the participants who are participating in the, I mean, at the start of their entrepreneurial journey, I must say. So, this is something to really hats off, and belated Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers over there. So, I would like to say both of the speakers, Aparna and Ruchira, has covered almost all of the part which I was thinking in the trending opportunities in the business sector for the women entrepreneurs to speak about. But yes, those sessions were really insightful for me as well. So I would just like to introduce about myself. Basically, I'm a food technologist and I'm a consultant who works for the R&D product development for the startups and some existing companies. So it is but obvious that my focus would be more on the food industry, but I am trying my best not to speak about the food industry because both of the speakers have already given you the more useful insights on the food industry. And also I'm running some short of time, so I would like to go speedily somewhere. Yeah. Okay, and most probably, I would like to simplify the things. I won't use bigger words and the bigger things. So let's go ahead. Sanjeevani, can we have the PPT, please?
yeah,
So we can directly jump on the third slide, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah. So again, yeah, food processing. So these are the some of the trending opportunities we could say because Ruchira has already mentioned all the trending things like millet based, the clean label products and all. But still, there is a customer base for the traditional and the regular food products. There is a demand and supply gap like fruits and vegetable processing, snacks, sweets, and traditional namkeen production. Amla processing is one of the good opportunity. Then in the extrusion sector, we could say noodles and pasta manufacturing because the food service industry is growing so rapidly, and the noodles and the pasta and all of these things, the raw materials are highly required or highly needed by the food service industry and the hotels and the catering institutions. So the beverage manufacturing is also there. There is a part of like alcoholic beverages and non-alcoholic beverages are there. So in the non-alcoholic beverages, there are many segments that we can consider, like juices, nectars, iced teas, cocktail mixers, your ready-to-drink mocktails, some of the energy drinks, some of the clean label products like immunity booster drinks, and some herbal drinks as well. So, as we have seen, the brand Wise Mama is doing very good in the breakfast premix manufacturing segment. So that is also a good opportunity. Many people or the many women are coming across, because we usually receive many inquiries daily, like 3 to 4 inquiries about the product development. All so. I could say one of the inquiries is always about the breakfast premixes, some dosa premixes, some chila premix, some muesli, some granola bars, and all of the things. And mainly people are mostly looking at, we would say, the kids friendly product. People wants to have less sugar, less salt, less oil. Even the clean label product, as Uchira has always mentioned, already mentioned, sorry. So about the no added preservatives, no added sugar, no added any other chemical preservatives or the additives. So people, the consumer base is shifting from the regular products to the healthier ones. And yes, this shifting happened as after the COVID. We all have seen that. So one major opportunity is also there in the designer chocolates manufacturing, or we could say a gifting option. Okay, in the seasons like Diwali, Christmas, and any other festivals, during the manufacturing industries or the corporates, they used to distribute some sweets or the chocolates, because we all know we cannot be rely on the milk based sweets, how many people are doing the adulterations, and also people's choice has been shifted to the designer chocolates or the dry fruit boxes as a gifting option. Then some of the, like in South India, if you can say, like coconut and the jackfruit, or many other fruits or the vegetables are neglected throughout the years for the processing, because we have a lot of production of the coconut and even the jackfruit, and some of the people are coming really well with some innovative ideas to process all these products. So this is also a good opportunity that we can think about. And one more thing is the bakery processing. So everyday requirement is about the bakery, and also people are always look for some good options in the bakery industry. If we go for some premium range of bakery products like Theobroma and some other brands like Bailey's are there in Pune. So there is a good opportunity for the bakery products as well. And also we have seen that the home baking business has been increased a lot. So even I speak about the Pune. So there must be more than 500 premium home bakers there in Pune. So you can consider, you can imagine how big is the business. So this is just for your understanding. I have given like land requirement. What could be the land requirement for the manufacturing unit setup? So that could be from 1,000 square feet to 3,000 to the sky is the limit. How big you make the plant, the requirement changes accordingly. And the tentative investment is like from 1 lakh rupees, sorry, 10 lakh rupees, and there is a no limit, because we can have a plant of crores and all. And please note that here I have mentioned some opportunities despite of the investment. It is not depend that the investment is at very low or the very high. It is just for your understanding. If somebody wants to enter into the industry, they can think about it. So next, so this was all about the food. You have heard a lot about the food. So I would like to focus on other business opportunities which are also trending. So I could see there is a shifting the leather item manufacturing as well. The people loves to wear or handle or carry a leather premium leather bags, and also there is a opportunity that we could manufacture leather bags for men and women both. Some wallets, some belts and other accessories. There is a huge requirement for the laptop bags, even your duffel bags and other accessories. So this is also a good manufacturing opportunity that we could think of if somebody has a good land, investment budget. So they would really think about the leather items manufacturing, and the demand is increasing, and even there is a scope for the exports. Not only a domestic market, there is also scope for the exports of the leather items. So land requirement is like from it can start from 1,000 square foot to 2,000 square feet, because uh, if you are not going into the leather processing, only you can have the stitching, designing, and that work can be done at your small workshop of 1000 to 2000 square feet. And if we see about the real processing of the leather, so that's 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs is the minimum investment amount, and it could changes according to your business plan, the land requirement, the machine setup, and how you plan about that business. The third opportunity we can consider about the cloth manufacturing. So that's a ongoing, the continuous requirement like a food. Okay, we need to have a cloth and the food as well. We always say like we are always out of, I mean, short of clothes. We don't have to wear something and all. So this requirement is continuously growing up. We can have opportunity in the ladies wear. There are many and multiple opportunities in the ladies wear itself, like traditional, formal, western, even your laundry and that kind of a thing. Then there is a huge requirement, or the huge demand is coming for the customized t-shirts, the family t-shirts. That is also a good opportunity that could be considered. Then even the socks, a pair of socks, if it is looks very small, but yes, we should consider from where these socks are coming. I mean, we just go and buy different quality socks, but yes, we can also provide a premium quality socks, the laundry, the scarves, even a handkerchief, and the most importantly, industry or the school uniforms. That's the biggest requirement nowadays. Schools, in schools also they have three different kinds of uniforms. One is for the your normal days, one is for the sports day, one is for something other. And even industries require their uniforms. They are different from production guys, quality guys, or the maintenance people, or the aprons, or for the visitors purpose. So this is also ongoing, where there is a MIDC and it is not required in the corporates though, but where there is a MIDC and manufacturing industry base, so this is the continuous requirement for the industry as well. So we could have a small workshop like 600 to 1000 square feet, and we can manufacture. So this is the furnishing manufacturing is, I would see, I mean, this is again a trending thing in the market nowadays, because we always want to decor our home with some good eye catchy and some good design, the bright colors, or the I mean, furnishing like bed sheets, bed covers, your pillow covers, your cushion covers, table mats, throws, and the curtains as well. There are, if you go on the Instagram, there are multiple Insta pages where the women entrepreneurs are doing and promoting their brands on social media like Insta and all, and they're actually creating a good market base for themselves and creating a good demands. This is all about the creativity. There is no limit as such. I mean, it's the sky is the limit for your creativity. And if you are really interested in doing this, so you can also think of this option, the furnishing, because we always have more than three sets of cushion covers for maybe a living room, for our bedroom. So people continuously wants to change. Uh, their choice keeps changing. Today, if I'm feeling like I need to have some bright colors in the summer season, but whereas when it comes to the winter and all, we want to have some different colors. We want to see some different colors. That's also a good opportunity. Again, a toys manufacturing. Ruchira just have mentioned about the toys manufacturing, because if you have heard about our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, who has also given a lot of emphasis on toys manufacturing, because we see the Chinese item market is continuously, I mean, they just pour their items in India at the cheaper rates, at very cheaper rates, and the plastic and the quality of the product we know. And nowadays parents are becoming very aware that the plastic toys or something else that they, I mean, releases some chemical or the toxic elements, so we should not give this to our kids. So in India, there is a large scope for the toys manufacturing. If you can say the plastic molded toys, or the wooden toys, or some educational toys, sets and all, we see very few. I mean, not more than 20 good manufacturers there are available on Amazon who sells the educational toys or the wooden toys. There is also a bigger scope for the soft toys. So I have just mentioned about the Indian toys market reached a value of US dollar 135 billion in 2021. And looking forward, the experts of the market, I mean, the experts are saying that the market would reach about 2.73 billion US dollars by 2027, and it is exhibiting a CAGR of 12.6. during these 5 years, 22 to 27. So we can imagine how big is the potential in the toys manufacturing segment, because also the population is increasing and parents wants to give the best to their kids always. So there won't be any compromise on the quality and the price. So we have this good opportunity in hand. So many women entrepreneurs are really working, but they were in the what we could say, the assembling of the toys and all. There are many small workshops in Pune or in Maharashtra, Mumbai, we could say. So they only assembles the small toys and all. So they do, but this is a high time now that women entrepreneurs can also enter into the manufacturing segment of the toys, whatever is suitable for as per your passion, as per your investment need, and everything. So you can really think of the toys manufacturing business, because Indian government is also promoting and giving a lot of the schemes and the loan and subsidies for this toys manufacturing business as well, along with the food industry. So expected investment is around 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. It again depends on your business model, how you go ahead. So there is again one opportunity is in the paper processing. Paper, as in maybe it is a natural paper or the organic one. So paper processing. There are lots of many things. If you are going to make a paper or you are manufacturing a paper, there are lots of again business opportunities gets reopened for you. Like you can also manufacture or assemble notebooks, envelopes, the files, other stationery items, the greeting cards, and the paper bags. You know, the market of paper bags is increased a lot, and there is continuously increasing demand that people wants to have a customized paper bags or some fancy handmade paper bags. So that is also, if you don't want to enter into the paper processing full fledgedly, so then you can also get the paper and you can have your own workshop where you are manufacturing other things like notebooks or envelopes and the files and other corporate requirements or the for the school projects and all. You know, there are many things are needed. If you go to any stationery shop, there are multiple or thousands of new things are available there, but whereas we see most of the items are China made. So we have to stop this. We have to be self dependent on these kind of products as well. So if you go for the full-fledged paper manufacturing process, so that budget could be around 1 cr and land requirement could be 10,000 square feet. But if you don't want to go into the paper processing, the other options are always there, which could be started at a low investment. So this is again, I feel this is a trending business opportunity as a furniture manufacturing. As we have seen already, a certain community or some people of group, like we say the Rajasthani or Karagir, बहुत सारे जो लोग होते हैं, they are into a furniture manufacturing. But nowadays, along with I mean very good brands like Paperfry, Urban Ladder, though there is a scope of entering into the furniture manufacturing as well, because I like to have a wooden furniture in my place or where the in the restaurants or in the corporate office. So people are moreover about, I mean, liking about the wooden furniture. Also there is a requirement for SS furniture. You know, if you can see this image, there is a SS furniture which is required for your hotel business, catering business, or some institutions. So this is also a good opportunity. And there is one more good opportunity that I think it is a refurbishing of the old furniture. Okay, because I myself, being a little creative, I would like to get some old piece of any kind of furniture and all, and me and my husband, we I mean apply our creative mind and we do something out of that, something creative. So we repaint it, or we do some other shapes to that and all. So that market is also growing nowadays, because people wants to have something unusual in their places. Okay, not the same sofa, same chair or the wooden table, maybe it is a circular or the square one or the rectangle one. People wants to have something different. So there is a scope for this refurbishing of the old furniture, and you can also easily sell or make your brand online, and to make the people aware about it. And the customized furniture, as I have already told you, there's again a trending opportunity is there, because people wants to have something really unusual in their houses. Okay, so investment required is like again depending upon your business model. It is mainly around 10 lakh rupees to get all the raw materials, to have all the equipments in place, and to have some laborers or some karagirs. So you can do really think of this furniture manufacturing as well. So yeah, herbal cosmetics manufacturing, again we have already spoke about it, because there is again a shifting from the chemical based cosmetics and wellness products. People are looking for natural and herbal products again. So there is a scope for making like herbal oils, face cream, body lotion, lip balm, and some makeup articles like your lipstick and kajal and mascara and whatnot. So we all know what we use and what are the different opportunities in this sector. So hair color is also a good opportunity to enter if you could have some product in hand, if you could do some R&D, some trials. There are really some good brands are doing really well on the Instagram and all. So you could see, you could study, or you could have we could say that uh, you have that market research, the desk research you can do, and you could find out what other brands are offering, how they are offering, how they are promoting their products, what are the attributes of their products, all natural, made in kitchen or kitchen like a setup. So it is not commercially made. All these things they are promoting online. So it is investment required from your 1 lakh to maybe 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, again depending upon the business model. And the land requirement could be minimum 200 square feet. From this is small place, you can also start for the manufacturing of the herbal cosmetics. So I have just mentioned because some business opportunities are there, because jewelry designing and manufacturing, we all know how we ladies are very possessive about jewelries and all. But the days are gone when we used to only wear a gold in the shadis and some marriage functions and all. So now we want to have everything matching to our costumes, or maybe our sari or lehenga or whatever it is. So there is a scope, continuously increasing demand for the imitation jewelry, some customized jewelry and all. So you can really think of, you have that creative mind or the creative hand that you could create something. So definitely you can think about the jewelry designing and the manufacturing. Some other opportunities are like eyeglasses, sunglasses, and frames manufacturing. Because of the lens cart and all, so people are now very much aware about the opportunity. I mean, there was a demand and supply gap which lens cart has filled up, about the eyeglasses and the frames and all. Still, there is an opportunity we can think of. There is again a trending thing is a candle manufacturing. So we all know that we need to have some designer or the scented candles for very, I mean, really different occasions. Maybe they are festivals or some birthdays or some anniversary celebration or whatever it is. But the candle manufacturing or the demands of the good designer and the scented candles is always continuously increasing. So you can definitely think of it. All these are some low investment business ideas, I could say. So you can really think and take a call upon this. Fertilizer manufacturing, nobody speaks about the fertilizers and all. So we know the home gardening or everything is continuously increasing, and people wants to have their own garden, and some people wants to go in the farms and do a farming. So the fertilizer manufacturing, I mean, there are, but they are all chemical based. If you go for some organic or some natural fertilizers, so yes, there is a demand. In fact, same thing with the gardening equipment manufacturing. So the people are increasing, I mean, having a more over interest in home gardening or the kitchen gardening. So there is a scope for gardening equipment manufacturing as well. If you go to any supermarket or any uh, the malls, you will see one section where all the plants, the pots, and the gardening equipments are there placed. But not heard much about this kind of manufacturing. So we could think about this manufacturing. One more thing is there about the perfumes. Again, these things, as the lifestyle and everything is changing in India. Not even major cities like any 2 tier or 3 tier cities also. So perfume is everybody's closest, I mean, thing they wants to have. And you know how people are, I mean, crazy about the perfumes. They even pay for like 5,000, 10,000, or sometimes in the lakhs for a perfume they like. So agarbatti and puja samagri manufacturing, it is again a trending thing. because usually, I mean, initially we would have seen they were chemical based and all, but nowadays natural agarbatti and natural puja samagri people wants to always have. So you can have that kit that you can deliver to the people maybe a daily or a weekly basis, that will contain your even agarbatti, kumkum, haldi, and all of the puja samagri which is needed. So that kit can be made, and it is can be, I mean, distributed through online or some other existing platforms. There is again a thing about the LED light manufacturing, you know. So LED lights have been used, has gained a more popularity over a period of time and the years, and so still there is a demand and supply gap is LED light manufacturing, and there are less or I would say no women are there in this manufacturing segment. So you can also think of LED light manufacturing. And again some fashion elements, you know, the minor things, I mean, we never noticed or observed these, like the bindi or the hair accessories, hair band, hair clips, whatever what we required, I mean. So we don't think much about that, but yes, there is also a increasing scope, because that is a recurring requirement. You need to have the people or the women who put on the bindi every day, so they need to they have this requirement every day. It changes according to your function or the festivals and everything. So there is no limit for the creativity, what you want to do or what you are best at, you can really think about this. So this was about me being a food technologist. I could chalk out these different business opportunities for you. So I think I would have helped you a bit. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm not able to hear you, Sanjeevani.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
I was just saying thank you to you, because that was a really very informational presentation from your side, and lot of business opportunities and trending products we have discussed so far. So quickly, let us move on to to our audience. If they have any questions, so they can ask the questions if they have any. So there are questions like there is one lady from our audience, Miss Hammu. She's already into coconut oil manufacturing, and now she wants to do new product development based on coconut only. So can you suggest few products based out of coconut as a raw material? Hello, hello.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Bhageshri ma'am. I was just reading out the
Yes.
query from one of our audience.
Yep.
Yeah, she's already into coconut oil manufacturing, and she's planning to
Mm-hmm.
do new product development based on coconut itself. So, can you
Mm-hmm.
share some insights into this? Can you suggest some products based out of
Uh,
coconut?
yes, there is an opportunity in manufacturing, and they can make the franchisee model as well. Like if you have seen that episode of the Shark Tank, one brand was their Coco something. I don't exactly remember. So they can make a coconut water brand. Very first thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is was, the biggest opportunity. I mean, it is a everyday requirement, and if you have seen those cards of the coconut water, they extract the coconut water very hygienically and gives and service to the people. So this is one opportunity. Otherwise, for value-added products, they can also think about the coconut-based smoothies or chutney premixes or some ice cream-based products or some desserts as well. This is what I could think immediately after this question. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, quickly, I'll just take you to another kind of question in which Miss Somya, she wants to know that she has a budget of 1 crore and she wants to enter into the chemical industry. So, what kind of products
Okay.
can she get into with a budget of 1 crore? I think Miss Ruchira, you can better, answer this query since you are into market research, so you may be knowing this.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take this question.
yeah.
For your chemical industry with 10 crores, if uh, 10 crores is a really big amount if you want to go into a chemical industry, because you can start off with a capital of say 1 crore also,
Yeah,
with and begin with your paints, varnishes, because these have a fixed demand always, and also these have a very simplified supply chain channel, so you don't have to invest a lot of money if your product is well positioned and well packaged, and you are advertising for it and giving a proper margin to your retailers. So if you have a budget of 10 crores, I could see you could go in for your biofuels or such kind of uh, product lines which are chemical based, and also you have a lot of government funding coming in due to the sustainability and the other allied funding models that are currently you will get a lot of FDI also with respect to this. But
okay.
there's a long list of actually chemical based businesses that you can start in this much um, budget. The main thing you need to take into consideration is what is your location, where do you want to set up your plant, what is the kind of logistics that you are looking at when you are thinking of setting up your plant in a particular area. Who are your buyers? How are you going to simplify your uh, supply to close by as well as far off buyers? And also, what is the price point that you can charge, and how much fluctuation of transportation cost can you factor in? So options are many, but you have to look at your location and what is readily available to you.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. Uh, okay, I guess there are no as such. Right now, nobody. I mean, would like to speak or ask their questions. So I'm not. I'm seeing much. So I think we can. If there are any more, I mean, questions from our audience, I will. I'd like to request to just mail us at info@solutionbuggy.com as well, and we shall entertain your all your queries and questions with in more detail later on. And there is also opportunity to talk to our experts and speakers on one-to-one basis as well through our micro consulting sessions. Also, we conduct micro consulting sessions as well for our audiences. So, as of now, I would like to thank everybody to join for joining us on this webinar. We really appreciate participating in this, and thank you everybody for your interest and participation. And I also thank all my speakers to spend their time and put all and efforts they have put in on this webinar. So thank you so much on behalf of Solution Buggy. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Sanjeev.